Okay, so I have effectively reset things so that we can continue on with the story and part of what we've been doing in Elysian Everlasting, the Tochter of, I think it's called, Elysium story, and try to finish it before it runs out of time. So let's keep on going. Has anything gone wrong in the reality, or is this done by someone from the inside? I'm going to confirm that. What happened to make you ask me to leave?
こうなってしまった以上、メイさん、やっぱり私についてきてください。そうですね。それにこの目で確かめていなければ、誰もこの事態を信じないでしょうし。
This is Kappas. He's going mad again. But this can't be the only reason you want me to.
そうです。戦壕が荒れているだけなら、まだ非常に危険というほどではありません。本当の問題は、この状況をうまく抑えられる人がもういなくなってしまったという事実です。
Of course, there's no more secret. Power has surpassed power he showed when battling me. Who's Kappas battling now?
問うまでもないでしょう。彼が戦いたいのは誰かではなく全員です。
Wait, did that not hurt me at all? Need to get I might be getting further away from where I'm supposed to. Can I teleport? Nope. Oh, that definitely hurts. I can't dodge.
いいぞ。お前たちは誰も一人で俺の相手をする資格はない。
Okay, what the heck
ま
is
と
going
めてかかってこい。時間を無駄にするな。
まだタイプライターは前回のように結論を出していない。急ぐ必要はないはずだ。
そうか？お前の隣にいる盲人はここでは特殊なんじゃないのか。 もしこの件がそもそも起こってなかったら、そいつはこんな姿になると思うのか？まるで死人のように。お前たちを皆殺しにしたら、俺は残りのやつを探しに行く。あのクズ、裏切り者め。こんなことをしておいて逃げられると思うな。
It was not all talk. From 50,000 years ago to the day, he had only showed this side to his companions once. Judging from that sea of ember, not hard to imagine what Kappas had just done. What was worse was that none of the people standing here were capable of persuading him.
エデン、グレーシュ、コズマ。現実であの衝突が起きた時もこんな感じでした。彼らはこういう状況で局
I
面
scanned
を変え
across
ること
every
に
person
動
at
ま
the
せん。
scene calmly, with Sue remaining silent. He had to make the call.
落ち着いてください、戦後。あなたは獣ではないのでしょう。
そうかもしれないが、今は違う。
They exchanged the same words then, but what happened afterwards? Kappas walked towards them. Kappas who had the highest kill count in the group. Kappas who saw everyone as a potential enemy. For everyone at the scene, only Nightmare could be more terrifying.
やっぱりあれほどの教訓を得たとしても、人の力では回避できない惨劇があるのでしょうか。ではこうしましょう。
There's no other way. The girl who barely looked more mature than a student stepped between the Nightmare and the others. What?
心配しないで。私はすべきことをします。
意味がわからない。
戦後、あなたに弁解するつもりはありません。徒労だって分かっていますから。一つだけお願いがあります、戦後。グレーシュだけは逃がしてくれませんか？彼女はただの子供です。
構わない。
待ってくれ。
スー。いいえ、その表情。彼は
He was all too familiar with the expression of holding up.
戦後、君の消失だが、さくらとほぼ同じ特徴を持っていた。君は彼女に会ったのか？
お前、彼女の名を口にするな。そ
But
れ
it was
と
an honest question.
俺の怒りをお前の道具のように使えると思うな。彼女を騙した時からこんな日が来ると分かってたはずだ。だが彼女は裏切り者ではない。あのアポニアは代価を払うべきじゃないのか。サクラが応じていればとっくにあの女を殺してやったというのに。
戦後、君と言い争うつもりはない。僕はただ君がさくらに会ったかどうかについて知りたいだけだ。
お前、俺にそうやって質問する資格があるのか。
He just had to turn his back. The temperature in the vicinity rocketed, instantly distorting the air.
俺の身にある戒律が何なのかお前も知ってるだろう。お前たちの中に無実の奴は誰一人いない。彼らを殺した奴は代価を支払わねばならない。お前、いや、お前から。
The destructive blow was loaded. Although they did not know when it would go off, they all reacted instinctively, except Eden, who seemed to be lost in thought.
グレース、後ろへ。趣味消し。
Mirror activated. The white light flashes. Kappas disappeared.
あれは旋回一条ですか？
ああ。戦後のようなものを長く閉じ込めることはできないが、事の次第を整理するには十分なはずだ。
What changes occurred while I was away? It does not need to be answered. Even after Kappas disappeared, Cosmo did not let Garcia walk out and made sure he had everyone in his sight. Only then did May notice that they all kept a distance from one another, distance too far for companions. Some changes are formless, indescribable, and lethal. You don't seem to be surprised about my return, Sue.
ええ、私がメイさんを見つけられたのはスーがあなたの状況を感知したからです。
少し気づくのが遅れたが、 幸い大きな過ちにはならなかった。来訪者、これ以上の単独行動はやめた方がいい。まだ手がかりは見つかっていないが、信じるには十分な理由がある。英傑、そして裏切り者、もしくは裏切り者たちは他の記憶体を一人ずつ抹消しようとしている。
Well, so far they're succeeding because you won't fight together. You mean Elysium?
もうこれ以上はやめましょう。スー、こういう状況になった以上、私ももう何もしないわけにはいかないわ。スーが良ければ、順位にそういう意味はないけれど、これからこの第4位が指揮を取ってもいいかしら。
Eden is ranked 4th?
もともとそう考えていたよ。しかし、エデン。
This extraordinary psychic instinctively detected the fluctuations of her psyche.
彼女はもう戻ってこないよ。
ええ。
Despite affirming, her expression was neutral, showing no signs of disbelief. So, if a sim kills another sim, the victim will disappear completely?
いや、古の楽園の構造から考えれば、壊れたデータは一番新しいコピーから復元される。そしてその記憶の喪失は5秒を超えないはずだ。しかし、こういうことは今までなかったし、予想外のことが起きたのか、それとも誰かに干渉されているのか、簡単には断言できない。
Human accident? No. Pretty sure it's the Hersher of corruption.
抹消と殺人。結局のところ、その境界がどこにあるのか、誰も判断できないんだ。
じゃあこれからはどうすればいいのでしょうか。ケビン、彼とは古い知り合いでしょ。何か言われてませんか？
それがこんな状況になった原因だよ。彼はあるものを僕に託した。
託した？スー、かつての私たちは共に見届けました。あの時彼は。
ああ、僕も今になってやっと思い出せたよ。あの時、前回彼が僕に託したのは何かをしようとしている時だった。だからフは僕がなぜ指揮をエデンに任せようと思ったか、君ならわかるだろう。
Without hesitation, the girl nods firmly.
では
Familiar white light shone again, encompassing Sue and Hua.
行こ
White light that shone took away the beast, and now Hua and Sue dwindled. Sue? What? At the same time, the distant anomaly, or obituary, had finally descended from above. It was the message they had been waiting for, and would sink their hearts to the bottom. It is riddled with words that are uncannily alike. Impossible. Disregarding the fact that nobody told her the typewriter was fixed. The text itself was unthinkable enough. What would a sage whose wisdom transcended time say in his position? Hector's destiny. When Sue recalled the occasion when Sue last entrusted, the saying came to mind. It was tens of thousands of years ago, when a needle was put on that farewell for the first time.
スー、ファ、これからのことは君たちに任せた。これは最後のチャンスだ。僕たちのせいで悪い結果になる前に。そのために僕は自分の命を重厚に押し込めなければならない。
Unlike before.
もしいつかこうやって私に対してトリガーを引くことで大多数の人々を助けられるのなら、
This time.
ケビン、あなたはどうするの？
And that piece of paper that can never lie. Only a single sentence repeated itself across the page. Kevin died? He's trying to take the place of Elysium? Maybe? Whatever he did, he's shattered, but Elysia isn't back either. Meanwhile, Sakura still has all the info. Pappas is over here. You can pause them if you want while they're open and read them. But Elysian Kevin of their data is completely gone. Meanwhile, Sue and Tua are still there. But who knows for how long. I guess it won't update for a while. In which case, I'm updated on that, but I can do the exploration part. Large side missions. Alright, in that case, I should do data storm. Are there still rewards? I thought I claimed them all. The signets, activate the deck with a weapon match of 600. Activated the Luren's deck, 100. Here's that next to color. Go for map exploration. Need some of that already, but I should probably stick to what the missions say. In order to get that, I need that one. It seems new. Let's do this one. Collect more signet cards and upgrade existing ones by consuming turbulence detectors to take out data storing challenges. New data storing pages available in rotation per day. But I don't have another day to wait. I can't exactly wait for golds to come, I guess. I'm guessing that's one of the ones I'm missing, if not for Bodhi. But I guess we'll see.
私はもう過ちを繰り返さない。
攻撃されたら痛いよね。シーリン、
勝利の外貨が響かんことを。次の現場に急ぐのね。
There should be monsters
こん
coming
な
out.
景色もいつか消える。私たちにできるのはそれを心に刻むこと。
No?
次の現場に急ぐの
There
ね。
are any secrets. Can they come in after me?
どこに行くのかしら。ビシュが飲む。
常識を覆して人類の考えを超えて。
あげましょう。もっとあるんだけど必要かしら。ステージの合間に
And
走る
it
なん
just
て
reactivated.
いつぶりかしら。
Clear up to the third floor. Unavailable.
こんなのどかな時間には音楽とビシュ
But
があ
I
れば
can't
いいのに。
actually.
シーリン見た？
I can probably do the data storm.
見てないの？
What about the other one? For data storm discipline. Empowerment. Combo. Teleporting. Portal. This place is built from Elysia's memories, which is seen, heard, and felt, all reflected in Elysium Everlasting. So we still don't know exactly what happened to Elysia, but we will likely find out in the upcoming patch. So it is saying that she died, and that Kevin died, and that would have exchanged them or something, but nothing happened.
私はも
シーリンの凄さを見せ
う
てあげる。
過ちを繰り返さない。
艦長艦長。
勝利の外貨が響かんこ
シーリ
とを。
ン見た？え？見てないの？
任務が終わったら
I don't know. If someone was to disappear around here, where do you think she could hide?
メイの姉ちゃん、それは難しい質問だよ。私は物探しのプロだけど、人探しとなると。あ、そうだ、思い出した。確かに人が隠れそうな場所があったんだ。ここの住人に聞いたんだけど、変わったエリアがあって、一人で行くと不気味な音が聞こえるらしいんだ。心霊スポットだと思われてて、誰も行かなくな
Well,
ったって。
I may have triggered this accidentally, but I'll go with it. Paranormal, do you believe such a preposterous story?
本物の幽霊というより誰かの仕業なんじゃないかな。でも私は命を大事にしたいタイプだから、心霊現象でも他のものでも面倒事はごめんだよ。だからその話を聞いてからは宝箱があったとしても行こうとは思わなかったんだ。
She has her priorities.
けどメイの姉ちゃんが行きたいなら特別に付き合ってあげるよ。
いや
やっぱりメイの姉ちゃんが一番頼れると思ってたよ。これでやっとお宝をゲットできるんだね。
If that's what you really have.
こんなのどかな時
Again,
間
she
には
has her priorities.
音楽と美酒があればいいのに。どこに行くのかしら。
Still seems to be stuck.
攻撃されたら痛いよね。シーリン、痛いの怖い。
次の現 現場に急ぐのね。
And I can't unlock that either. Yeah, it's going this way.
次の
I
現場
think
に急ぐ
these
のね。
ought to be able to open. And I can't interact with that
ど
at
こ
all.
に行くのかしら。
That's the beacon.
次の現場に急ぐのね。
What does that do?
どこに行くのかしら。次の現場に急ぐのね。
I still can't interact with it.
次の現場に急ぐのね。
And this...
どこに行くの
also
かし
says
ら。
that's unavailable.
どうしたの？
館長
私の歌が聞きたくなったのかしら。
見た？
These are two things that I'm actually blocked from. Well, even if I can't do that, I can still do some data storm. Maybe I should do 2 of each if I can. I don't know exactly how many tries at them I can get. Let's go. Or maybe just 1 each. I don't know how many of the cards I have. I will try. As soon as it loads in. I'm glad I got the story done. That means that I don't have to worry about that.
過ちを繰り返さない。
次の現場に急ぐのね。
見てないの？
次の現場に急ぐのね。どこに行くのかしら。
I'm gonna keep an eye out. Just.
次の現場に急ぐのね。
Well, I have 3. Nothing a buddy. That's probably it. I did it a couple times, but not very often. And I did discipline a bunch. Not discipline, deliverance. I'll start off with 2 here and see whether or not that gives me the 20th signet. Sonic cards are more effective when paired with signet cards.
過ちを繰り返さない。
勝利の外貨が響かんこと。
常識を覆して人類の考えを超えて。
高分合唱よ。え、いや。
ここで終焉を迎えなさい。私のフリッシュが行く。戻ったら提出しましょう。ええ、私の知る限り考え。
アンコールの時間よ。飯が飲みたくな。これがあなたへのレクイエムよ。
なぜ戻ろうとしない。
苦しみの中で心を入れ替えなさい。目覚めなさい。今しめを受けなさい。あらゆる定め
I
に
pressed
敬
it
服せ
about
よ。
half a second ago. Let's see what happens if I leave and then I come back. The psychic is more effective against mech. They mentioned or countered themselves and are countered by each other. There's really no. They have both advantage and disadvantage at the same time.
過ちを繰り返さない。
艦長艦長、さっきのシーリン
Those leveled up instead of getting new ones.
これ以上待っていたら次の戦いの結末
Let's
を
try again.
知り尽くすことになるよ。
In order to continue the other mission here, I actually need to get a 20th signet, and it would be useful to find out which that is. But I can't see it. Oh, if I don't get it, I don't get it.
過ちを繰り返さない。勝利の外貨が響かんこと。
喜ぶがいい。開演の時が来た。
高ぶる楽勝よ。あなた許せない。ご覧未来の情景。ここにアンコールの時間よ。歌と共に踊りなさい。次のこれがあなたへのレクイエムよ。なぜ戻ろうとしない。苦しみの中で心を入れ替えなさい。目覚めなさい。どうしてクイルがいい。消滅するときに岐路に踏み入る前ならまだ残勝利。星が光り輝くわ。高ぶる楽勝よ。今黄金のように輝きなさい。
That. I'm going to use my last attempt on the other. There's not much else I can do there for now.
私はもう過ちを繰
And
り
it
返さ
just
ない。
leveled up that one.
艦長艦長、さっきのシーリン見た？
No. Let's go and see. I guess I need the stream to be an hour long in order to qualify, and that's not a bad thing. Even if I finish off things here fairly quickly,
過ちを繰り
I
返
can
さない。
go over the
どこに行くのか
rosemary
しら。
stuff.
見てないの？
どこに行くのかしら。どこに行くのかしら。
This way.
どこに
Wait,
行く
is
のか
this
しら。
the same thing? What?
次の現場に急ぐのね。
This one, it doesn't say. Exceptional gold vestige and decimation. Oh, I should have saved it for this thing. Well, let's find out if I get the 20th that I need. Receive.
過ちを繰り返さない。
Hmm.
勝利の
Painted
外貨
one.
が響かんこと。
喜ぶがいい。開演の時が来た。
局長が強くなるわよ。私が代わりに断罪する。採決の意向は降臨した。心と体を私に任せなさい。準備はいいですか。ここは私が災いをもたらした場所とよく似てる。
That's why I brought them.
うっとうしいですね。準備はいいですか。クリシナ。バスを受けるがいい。結末の余韻に耳を傾けよう。消えなさい、戒めは。何事にも定めがある。罪を裁かせてもらう。
喜ぶがいい。開演の時が来た。
私のバフリッシュが行く。うっとうしいですね。
Yeah, Eden is also imaginary type. So she should also be able to go through the Tusk monsters pretty easily. If I can't do this one mission, then I can follow through on the one I started with Pardon.
私はもう
シーリンの凄さを見せてあげる。
過ちを
Oh,
繰
I
り返
didn't
さ
get
ない。
a new one.
攻撃されたら痛いよね。シーリン、痛いの怖い。
昔もこうして未来が後を追ってくるのを。
Anything I can do with these things at all? Probably not. It usually tells you when you get the item that you need in order to upgrade those. But that really didn't do any good this time. Let's see, not that mission, this one. And I should be fairly close to it.
勝利の外貨が響かんことを次の現場に急ぐのね。
If I knew environment was the one I needed, it would have gone over there in the first place.
ステージの合間に走るなんていつぶりかしら。次の現場に急
What
ぐ
about
のね。
this one? No, I still can't open that one. All puzzles to open chests. Doesn't seem like anyone had come by here.
変わった柱が数本あるだけ。あそこメイの姉ちゃん、見て、宝箱があるよ。
Oh, this is where we would use the lantern.
ダメ、鍵がかかってる。謎を解かないと箱を開けられないみたいだ。そのメイの姉ちゃん。ひひ。
He wants us to solve it. Bardo, we're not here for
わ
treasures.
かってるよ。でも中に手がかりがあるかもしれないし。
Well,
どうしたの？ 私の歌が聴きたくなったのかしら。
Flowers. Mechanism?
どこに行くのかしら。
Hmm.
任務が終わったら私が大事にしてるワインを開けましょう。
Set. This.
開いた。手間暇かけずというのはこういうことだよね。何
Check the
何
chest.
何が入ってるの？うわ、何？怪物！
曲調が強くなるわよ。
これがサプライズ。
I didn't already finish it, did it?
危なかった。うっかりあの世に行くところだったよ。メイの姉ちゃん、本当にありがとう。今後メイの姉ちゃんが店に来たら 2% オフ、いや 3% オフにしてあげるから。
I wonder if that'll actually carry. How generous of you. Looks like the chest was just a trap. Who set it up and who was it for?
ここに紙切れがあるよ。怪物から落ちたものみたい。
The monsters carry notes now?
特別ステージへようこそ。第1幕、スペシャルゲストとの触れ合い。驚いた？刺激的だったでしょう。
Ah, will be.
驚いたというより死ぬかと思ったよ。
I think I know who set up this trap. I have a bad feeling about this. What else does it say?
最も勇敢な観客を表彰するために特別な宝物をある場所に用意した。その入手方法については第2幕光学魔術をご覧あれ。その他に地図が書いてあるよ。今私たちがいるエリアみたいだけど。
Does optical magic refer to that light ahead? Let's check it out.
こんなのどかな時間に
Be
は
like that.
音楽と美酒があ
That
ればいい
will
のに。
allow us to level up one of these. This one. Right. This one I can put on. Hmm. Doesn't seem like I have very many equipable there. The discipline one got all messed up. Wait, why does it only show... Did I lose my old syntax?
「どこに行くのかしら。
Lightning puzzles and treasure.
次の現場に
Check
急
out
ぐ
the
のね。
light source.
開いた開いた。
That's the one. Equipped to obtain passive skill Mysterious Iridescence, characters can interact with specific mechanisms on the map and complete puzzles by reflecting rays of light. I see.
どこに。
あ、何これ？ ランタン？見た目だけだといい値段で売れそうだけど、本当に買う人はいるのかな。
いつか消える。私たちにできるのはそれを心に刻むこと。どこに行くのかしら。ステージの合間に走るなんていつぶりかしら。
Wake mechanism.
どうしたの？私の歌が聴きたくなったのかしら。
That only lowers
痛いの怖い。
codes or activate. Inspect. Master key level 2. To open special doors and obtain an active skill preemptive power. Use the skill to unleash ranged attacks on enemies that deal heavy. I did wonder. Does it replace my first one? Advanced items will be added to active use skills while having the same effect as passive items. Tap the master key icon to activate preemptive skills, allowing you to aim and fire at enemies on the map. Do massive damage prior to entering combat. An upgraded master key will allow you to open more advanced doors on the map.
待って、メイの姉ちゃん。一つ案があるんだけど、もしかしたらこれらの材料を使うのかもしれない。ほら、できた。これがパルドフェリスの超絶強化版特製万能鍵だよ。艦長、さっきの CD 見た？強化版の鍵なんだから、強化版の塀も解決できるはず。メイの姉ちゃん、あそこの塀で試してみよう。
どうしたの？私の歌が聴きたくなったのかしら。どこに行くのかしら。次の現場に急ぐのね。
Open this. Doesn't have an
次の現場に急ぐのね。次の現場に急ぐのね。
Hurricane Spirit Cordon get to Hurricane. Using the positive.
次の現場に急ぐのね。
Read it?
こんな景色もいつか消える。私たちにできるのはそれを心に刻むこと。次の現場に。
ほら、宝探しなら私に任せてって言ったよね。
I don't know if that's what it meant.
任務が終わったら私が大事にしてるワインを開けましょう。こんな景色もいつか消える。私たちにできるのはそれを心に刻むこと。どこに行くのかしら。
Oh, I can actually go there now? I sense danger. This might be her final performance. Look. Can I use it to throw the thing?
休止符を打ち
常識を覆して人類の考えを
Oh,
超
I
えて。
forgot to change it back. Oh well.
今黄金のように輝きなさい。歌と共に踊りなさい。
People are slow.
受けるがいい。静まれ。祈祷はもう遅すぎる。採血の意向は降臨した。心と
勝利の代価が 私に任せステージが始まるわ。高ぶる楽勝よ。テンポを上げましょう。私の番です。ここまでです。天元の道ここにて見開け。
It's gotten a lot of health bars. Which could that'll do. I was trying to switch.
これがサプライズ。
今黄金のように輝きなさい。私が代わりに沈まれ。祈祷はもう
We're an AoE. Doesn't usually do a whole lot of damage all at once.
鬱陶しいです。よっ。罰を受けるがいい。苦しみの中で心を入れ替えなさい。目覚めなさい。何事にも定めがある。罪を裁かせてもらう。ここに来る私を余
I
計
was hoping it would be back up on me.
一人ぼっちだったよ。私の番ですね。かすり傷です。
Now it's up.
勝利のがステージに戻るわ。
喜ぶがいい。開演の時が来た。
Here we go.
ステージが始まるわ。沈まれ。
No switching though.
祈祷はもう遅すぎる。
That doesn't seem to be quite as much.
結末の余韻に耳を傾けよう。消えなさい。戒めは私の番ですね。
天元の道ここにて切り開け。
勝利の星が光り輝くわ。これがあなたへのレクイ
Maybe
エ
I
ム。
should just use it.
歌と共に踊りなさい。私の番です。
フレッシュが行け。
静まれ。祈祷はもう遅すぎる。ご覧、未来の情景。ここに次元勝利のアンコールの時間よ。高ぶる楽勝よ。今黄金のように輝きなさい。
I forgot to
共に
activate
踊り
it.
なさい。私の番です。ここまでです。
常識を覆して人類の考えを超えて。フレッシュが
準備はいいですか。いいでしょう。結末のよ。クイルがいい。消滅するときに戒めは何事にも定めがある。罪を勝利の裁かせてもらう。私を探してるの。これがあなたへのレクイエム。私が災いをもたらした場所。高ぶる楽勝よ。よく似ている。私の番です。
フレッシュが行け。天元の道ここにて。
I was trying to switch the skins.
準備はいいですか。クリシュナ。こちらです。ついてきてください。
No?
期
Is
待
this
があっ
just
た。どんなお宝が入ってるのかな。
こちらです。
風に乗って走れ。クリッシュナ。
ついてきてください。こちらです。ついてきてください。
Hmm.
もうすぐ戦場に着きます。戦闘準備はいいですか。ついてきてください。こちらです。
ついてきてくださ
Yeah,
い。
they
こ
got
ちら
that
です。
thing here,
周りの崩壊エネルギー反応
but
が強い。
it said that it
警
was
戒を保
jammed.
ってください。 こちらです。
Oh, there was two of them.
つい
What
てきてくだ
is
さい。
that? Maybe it's to reflect the light?
攻撃されたら痛いよね。シーリン、痛いの
ついてきてください。ついてきてください。
Don't have the contextual
ついてきてください。
put that there, but there must be
こちらで
a
す。
lantern somewhere. Oh,
ついてきてくだ
it's
さ
over
い。
here.
こちらです。ついてきてください。こちらです。
Interesting.
艦長艦長、さっきのシーリン見た？え？見てないの？
I do want to change the back thing. Oh, I'm using discipline.
攻撃されたら痛いよね。シーリン、
ついてきてください。
痛いの
こちらです。
怖い。
ついてきてください。こちらです。ついてきてください。
I did that one. Oh,
常識を覆して人類の考えを超えて。ほっせいはっはっはっやっせいほっ
wait, can I switch between with A?
やっはっ
Oh, that's good. I hated
勝利
being
の
stuck
外貨
before.
が響かんことを。どこに行くのかしら。次の現場に急ぐのね。
I think I have to go around.
次の現場に急ぐのね。
I didn't have to come down here at all.
任
I
務が
guess
終
it's
わ
a
った
good thing
ら
I don't
私が
have
大事に
the
してるワインを開けましょう。
eye.
次の現場に急ぐのね。こんな景色もいつか
What does it
消
say
える。
for there?
私たちにできるのはそれを心に刻むこと。次の現場に急ぐのね。
There's nothing here. See what happens if we just go here. Well, made it to an hour without it.
私はもう
シーリーの凄さを見せてあげる。
過ちを繰り返さない。
攻撃されたら痛いよね。
I still don't like that.
痛いの怖い。
勝利の外貨が響かんことを。どこに行くのかしら。
I guess it wasn't there. What was it then? I guess I should pay attention to the arrow. If the road takes such a long time, they were just think.
私はもう
シーリーの凄さを見せてあげる。
過ちを繰り返さない。
艦長艦長、さっきのシーリー見た？
Wait, now it says it's far away.
見てないの？
ここに来る私を予見したことがあるけど、一人ぼっちだったよ。
I should probably be able to open that now.
これらの意図があるからこそ、
攻撃されたら痛いよね。
私は
シーリー、
時間の制約を受けずに立っていられる。
Ah,
これが
never
サプラ
mind
イ
then.
ズ。
今しめを受けなさい。あらゆる定めに敬服せよ。ご覧、未来の情景。ここ
勝利の外ステージに戻るわ。今黄金のように輝きなさい。
ええ、私の知る限り
ああ、局長が強くなるわけだ。テンポを上げましょう。
She gets SP really quickly.
天元の道ここにて切り開け。
勝利の星が光り輝くわ。高ぶるが勝利。ステージが始まるわ。
いいでしょう。苦しみの中で心を入れ替えなさい。目覚めなさい。今しめは彼女たちの光は最後まで私が守る。
勝利の外貨がこれがあなたへのレクイエムよ。
ここに来る私を
常識を覆して人類の考えを超えて。
私の番です。
ここまでです。シルプリシュナヘッ。鬱陶しいですね。よっ、
準備はいいですか？プリシナ。
And that's why we love
提出
drugs.
しましょう。
艦長艦長、さっきのシーリー見た？
I didn't activate
ない
that.
の？ほら、宝探しなら私に任せてって言ったよね。
周りの崩壊
Is
エ
there
ネル
really
ギー
nothing
反応
else
が強い。
here?
警戒を保ってください。いい景色ですが、
勝利の外貨が響かんことを。
Sorry, but the armor gets in the way of my vision.
ステージの合間に走るなんていつぶりかしら。次の現場に急ぐのね。次の
What
現
does
場
it
に
want
急ぐの
us to
ね。
do here? I see a lot to fight in here.
次の現場に急ぐのね。どこに行くのか。いや、テンポを上げましょう。歌と共に踊りなさい。ステージが始まるわ。
That was nice.
喜ぶがいい。開演の時が来た。
私の番です。
フィッシュが行く。うっとうしいですね。
勝利の外貨が響かんことを次の現場に急ぐのね。
Anything there?
どこに行くのかしら。
There's nothing to interact with.
次の現場に急ぐのね。次の現場に急ぐのね。こんなのどかな時間には音楽と美酒があればいいのに。
I don't know. Oh. I think I already opened it. Hmm?
戻ろうとしない。
常識を覆して人類の考えを超えて。
I was trying to do the other thing.
救済に使う。消えなさい。戒めはここまでにしましょう。
勝利の外貨が響かんことを。次の現場に急ぐのね。
But that's already on. What does it want? I'm right there. Rangers come to the plaza uninvited to see what he's up to. Well, I can't do it because he's not here. Maybe he'll come back in if I reload, but I think that's all I can do there for now. Well, got quite a few of those things there. Let's go here. I'm always up for some crystals. I don't think I had any more to claim. Shop. I'm not really sure actually what good those are. These stigmas, because they're kind of particular. Use fire damage by 10%. Oh, it's good for fire. but I can only pick one. Image. Actually, they're all. And these ones are ice. And I only had 3M. Wait, is there Tet bonus? Ah. I suppose I could if I have anything. Things are more. It's easier to see if I do it from the main page. Yes, I know. It's a pain how it locks you in. And of course, yeah, it's locked. Sometime I should do AFO. Is this all the way up to 60? Yes, it is. Pretty sure I can't get that in the town hours that early. Even is the most important here. These I can get basically anywhere. But this is a massive amount of asteroid. Now let's see. I do have some stuff here. Nothing like such a puzzle. Oh, that's all that there were in that. Do I have these? That should be enough for both of those. I don't have a lot of these though. Three? No, that's only 20. I'm pretty sure I could earn those in other ways. In this I would only get 3. Alright, it was the can shop. Let's pick up the crystals first. And this. Worth it to get these? Oh, that only costs 1200. And I have 2800 left. So I can do 300 on something. Like these. And still have enough left over for this. If I really want to go for it. even that's not enough to level her up. Pretty sure that's too old to do now. Yep. That was way longer. I'll cover the Rosemary photograph stuff. Like I said I would. Now, these notes are just quick notes. Go to the album. There's not a lot of them. That you'll find you can get some of the story from them. They really do seem to. I don't know how the rest of that song went. A lot of these tragic stories, in not to confuse the Honkai kingdoms, are pretty much the same. Especially the day you vanished, or the night you vanished. Finished the 17 steps that led up the hall to the second floors while the party reached for the door. Still before the appointed time, but according to my landlady, my charming guest has arrived half an hour. I know you want something from me. Marlin Breezy Manor is sending me a message. So it's all about how much the bargaining chip I have in my hand is for. This woman is indeed a tough opponent. Find her motive, I sort out the entire case from the beginning. Slowly turn the door handle. Looks like this night will be longer than I expected. The distinguished detective Mr. Holmes is reading the newspaper on the train. Poised and organized man. He rarely stays up late. In the morning, he always finishes breakfast and awaits his clients before I even get there. This unique Londoner observer has a marvelous ability to analyze anything with his intuition. In most cases, the only details provided by the client, he'd be able to deduce the truth without leaving his clinic. Of course, for those occasional tricky cases, he'd also go out to investigate. And now the renowned Mr. Detective is outside London, which makes us all wonder what inexplicable case awaits at the end of this train. I, Dr. Watson, will be leading you. You can take a break from your tedious boasting, Doctor. This is work. It's very important to me, my dear Hua. How could you call someone's work boasting? I think it's necessary to correct your ignorant opinion. Even if you made it high-sounding, I still stick up for my point of view. Holmes and Watson. Why would you use such strange names for characters in a biographical novel? Strange? I don't think so. I think they're great names that complement each other, just like you and me. If you say so, Doc. But I still have some questions. Why do I feel that this Mr. Holmes in your novel is like a composite of my personality or mind? That's just a literary adjustment. Nature, alas, made only one being out of you, although there was material for a good man and a rogue. There are in me the makings of a very fine lover, which would not make a very charming male character. I'm glad that you're at least self-aware. One last question. My nationality. I don't think you showed respect for me when you made me British in your story without my consent. Of course I respect you and your enigmatic culture, my friend, but you don't know the dilemma I face. You have to understand that it is quite unorthodox for detective stories to include East Asian characters, who are generally believed to be somewhat magic in the Western society. Please don't take it as a cultural prejudice. But it sounds exactly like that to me. Come on, what do you expect me to think after I saw you smash a thick wall with your bare hands? Fine, I'll let you have that one. My name is Conan Dow. As you can see, I'm a novelist. But other than this, there are another two distinct roles that I take on in my life. My clinic at 221B Baker Street has always been quiet. This so-called main profession of mine can barely pay the bills. Which, though sounds pitiful, does not really bother me, as I have sources of extra income to support my interests. My partner and flatmate seems to be famous among the Scotland Yard inspectors. This connection offers opportunities. We provide consulting services for the inspectors of the detective duo, and the brain who has the muscle. For each case solved, our client gets all the credit. We get paid handsomely. We've solved a myriad of cases so far. Hence, more and more commissions are entrusted to us by Scotland Yard inspectors, even individual clients. In contrast, my clinic business is getting worse. I once asked Hua's opinion on Elysium. Restrained and taciturn as she is, she always gives highly perceptive and insightful answers. If you were a patient, would you choose a clinic that is frequently visited by police officers? It does have a point. In my spare time, I'll write down my adventure stories based on the cases I've solved. Mrs. Hudson, my landlady, found the manuscripts and posted them off to a publisher without consulting me. Unexpectedly, these stories became hugely popular after publication. Hence, I became a novelist as well. You can see it from here now. His voice interrupted my thoughts. I looked out the window in the direction of her gaze. At the end of the plains within sight, the dim outline of a grey city can be seen. It's St. Fountain, the desolate city. Had not been for the unexplained cataclysm happening 5 years ago, it might still be a lively holiday visual. In the city, Old Moor Town and Mausoleum of Saad on Table Mountain witnessed the ancient Modern era, and Portuguese fort at the Cape of Good Hope used to harken back to the age of maritime exploration. In the Victorian-style Governor-General's office was complemented by the 17th century Baroque-style Dutch Wine Museum. But all these spectacular views no longer exist. Today, St. Fountain is a dead city with severe Honkai pollution. The Honkai energy spawned countless Honkai beasts rampaging around the city. To prevent the disaster from spreading, Lab 42 of Shixel Imperial Institute spent 3 years to build anti-entropy, an effective security system in the city. And the commission we're currently on came from the very research base stationed on the front line of the calamity. Are you sure we should do this? I'm well aware that you are not a hothead, but this case is bizarre. Bob Joyce, leader of Lab 42 of Shixel Imperial Institute. Even the renowned scientists Dr. Tesla and Dr. Einstein were famed. Such a big shot had to turn to 2 private detectives. Aren't you curious of the reasons? Not at all. But I'm indeed curious about the man named World. Her gaze fell back to the newspaper in hand, seeming to forsaken her plan to talk to me about the commission. I took out the baffling invitation letter from my pocket again. The rose is red, the violet is blue. Mary is sweet, and so are you. The rose is red, and Mary is blue. We were deceived, and so are you. I tried to figure out the connotations of these lines, but all I can see is a love poem. There's another message written on the back of the letter by the sender. If you have any clues about the hidden message in this poem, please do come to What Manor in St. Fountain. I wait your arrival. Well, Joyce. The paper of the letter is a standard product made in Europe. It should be common stationery at the Institute. Though the handwriting was deliberately scratchy and messy, it's still apparent that it was written by a female. This letter was not written by Rob Joyce. The only conclusion that can be drawn at the moment. We were deceived, and so are you. I was absently reciting the last line of the poem when someone in the corner of the carriage caught my eye. It's a stunning woman. She is sitting there quietly sipping at her tea. All noise seems to be quickly receding from the space around her. That woman is very dangerous. I don't think you need to be reminded. No, I believe that she is. Of course I don't. I gave a little cough to cover up the fact that I was fascinated by her for a moment. Actually, the fact that a retired female opera singer is on a trip to a dead city alone is already very suspicious. Retired opera singer? My partner finally put down the newspaper. Indifferent as she appears to be, she actually has a strong curiosity. What is your deduction based on this time? Clothing, deportment, or... It's her breathing. The way we and the vast majority of people breathe is called the thoracic breathing. While singers of most music genres normally use thoracic abdominal breathing, except for opera singers, use abdominal breathing to make their beautiful vocals be heard against a symphony without loudspeakers. Abdominal breathing relies on the lower abdomen to control the breathing and make it deeper and longer. It's not a skill that one can easily master. This woman's caught my attention from the moment I boarded the train. She effortlessly uses abdominal breathing at all times, which is uncommon even among opera singers. Oh, I see. So you've been checking on her since you boarded the train. Guess we'll have to check abdominal and thoracic breathing with Mousy if we can later. No need to explain. To explain is to attempt to cover it up, which validates my assumptions. Go on, I'm listening. And finally, her acting skills. Yes, her tears were presumably part of her acting in response to my self-talk that she picked up. And even I was aware. Still lost a heartbeat when I saw her tears, rid of such wonderful acting skill. And she does appear to have. Except for one of the leading lights in the opera world. Am I right, Miss Irene Adler? You flatter me, Mr. Conan Doyle. And though few people have seen you in public, in person, your name will live forever with the stories of poems you wrote. While I'm just a back number off the stage, after my value has been fully exploited, I will soon be forgotten. You are talking in riddles, Doctor. I understand you deduce from her breathing that she's an opera singer. How would you know her name and that she's retired? Very simple, Miss Fufu. There's a picture of me printed in the back of the newspaper in your hands, and the headline reads about my retirement. Rich. He is. Allow me to introduce myself properly. My name is Eileen Adler. I was also invited to visit Mr. Joyce like the two of you. I'm an old friend of his. Delighted to make your acquaintance, Mr. Watson and Mr. Holmes. I hope we have a cordial relationship as a team. A team? What are you talking about? The beautiful woman stood up and bowed her head to us. Meanwhile, the train started to slow down, which means we'll soon arrive at our destination. St. Fountain, desolate city. Victim. Pain. The fight continued in the dark, because the people in the fight were too immersed to hear that. Guess I'll have to settle this the hard way. You can tell from the shouts that one who just joined the battle has the upper hand against my attacker. Next moment, just like the unexpected arrival of darkness, the light suddenly came back. Thank goodness, I can finally take a break. Sarah? Sarah! In response, I looked around but didn't find her. Which one of you took her? Where is she? Calm down, Raven. Miss Adler and I have been investigating the crime scene on the second floor before the blackout. So her scream was a few seconds later after the background. When we went downstairs and met you, we had no time to take her. As for me, I just came back from the edge side. What happened? It was a girl's voice. We all turned around and saw two strangers. One is a petite silver-haired girl, and the other is a middle-aged man with a scholastic temperament. Hi, Branya. Hello, Miss Adler. You are here for my father's matters, I presume. Oh, so she's the young lady. And you must be Dr. Conan. Branya gently pulled the middle-aged man towards her. Allow me to introduce ourselves. My name is Branya. I'm Will Joyce's adopted daughter, and this is Joachim. He's my guardian and my father's assistant. Joachim reached out and shook my hand. Its hand was dry and strong. I smelled a pleasant smell when near him. I can tell he's conscientious, but for some reason he seemed to leave. Nice to meet you. So Dr. Tesla took you... where's Dr. Tesla? When we came back, the gate was open and it was dark in the building, so Dr. Tesla went to repair the electricity. Gate was open? Alright, if anyone took Sora away, they might have left. Black shadow flashed by before I even finished talking. It was Raven who just made haste to walk through the gate. Wait, stay out of my business. Do you want another fight? No, I'm just trying to remind you that this is a huge mansion. Sora might still be here. However, to take away a child, I'd choose to hide in this building for now rather than running away in heavy rain. Seems that I have convinced Raven. She stayed. Suddenly Einstein's voice came from the second floor. Is that Jackal? Her voice trembled. For the first time ever since I met her, she looked so vulnerable. Everyone looked in the direction she indicated. Moon is lying face down on the floor in the far corner of the hall, with a dagger deeply sticking in her back. And Jackal is dead. Jackal's death. The woman did not panic when the sudden darkness fell. It was the last mistake she made. The darkness was a cemetery specially prepared for her. Cold light reflected off the deadly steel was like a merciless notice. Blood broke free from her soft flesh and spread it into the air. She didn't even feel the pain in the first few seconds. The blood under her body formed a patch that looked like a carpet in bad taste. Who are you? Her? Though she is now a colleague, the only thing that makes us allies is our common interest. And our complicity 5 years ago was just an inglorious history. No, it can't be. In vigilance. There's no way she could stab me from the... And who could it be? Who would have been trying to kill me? That was the furthest her level-headed thinking went. The rapid loss of blood gradually froze her mind. She raised her head with her remaining strength, and she saw that figure with her death. It's you. You're right. You're still here. Why? Blood upwelled into Jackal's throat and interrupted her. Her voice was already so weak that no one could hear. Her death smelled cruelly. The sound of footsteps approached. Her death bent down over. Who are you? She repeatedly uttered her last two words and closed her eyes forever. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled, but death disappeared in the dark. The soul faced its final curtain. Cold rain was still falling in the deserted city. A flash of lightning silently illuminated the blurred outline of the dark cloud. A dull rumble of thunder then came. In the dark alley, a figure stood in the thunderstorm. It was covered up in black, with the face hidden in an eerily white light. In the cold rain seemed to be running away from him. Suddenly another cold light expelled the dimness, but it was not lighting. A sharp, deadly weapon. The masked man in black was gently wiping the dagger, like stroking his lover's hand. Red raindrops dripped from the tip of the dagger. He slightly turned his head to trace his unusual noise. It was a petrified little girl. Her mouth was stuffed with cloth, chips so she could only make a muffled whisper. He turned back and saw the reflection of his blood-red eyes in the mirror like the dagger. The voice came out from those eyes, a blood-red voice. The voice was calling him, urging him. There's one more, just one left. The voice stopped procrastinating. He slowly walked towards the child, his right hand gripping the dagger. The vengeance is almost complete. Peace of mind is so close. The voice became delighted and The child's struggle was futile. Her limbs were all firmly tied. The dark figure kept approaching. Burning darkness covered up the cruelty, which was the mercy of the night. Breathing turned out to be quite an effort. People tend to ignore common things. But when there is a gash on the throat, breathing, which is the most common action, becomes a luxury. She pressed her fingers against the gash, trying to stop the bleeding, which proved futile. Her hand feebly dropped down, the agony of suffocation even exceeding the pain of the wound. She struggled to turn her head to look at the body on the ground near her in the heavy rain. He was the reason why she ended up like this. Violence had been with her since childhood. Accomplishing mission used to be the only theme of her life. At least, that child can go on a different life path. This thought used to be her strength of will. But now, light footsteps softly approached. Someone was writing something beside her with the blood that was gushing from her wound. Why? She asked soundlessly. She could no longer make any noise. Why? The writer did not stop, but responded with a peculiar smile. Her pale lips slowly closed, warm teardrops fell down her cold cheeks. Raven cries came from her. Not sure about streaming this, but they're basically just talking the case. I guess I can try. It should be fine, she's covered up. Right already, this is not like you, Mr. Detective. The Mr. Detective I know always conducts himself with grace no matter what difficulty he faces. I'm sorry, Miss Reader, but fiction and reality are actually two different things. Anyway, do we really have to talk through this thing? Several hours have passed since Raven's and HI3's bodies were found. After we managed to carry the two bodies back, everyone got drenched to the skin. Sora is still in a state of stupor. Dr. Einstein put her in a room to rest. It's late at night. We're all exhausted, anxious, and uncomfortably wet. Before planning the next move, everyone needs a... For that, I have something to do. I found Dr. Doral, who is lost in thought alone in the hall. This is obviously from her perspective. You have a minute, Doctor. What can I do for you, Miss Adler? I'd like to talk to you in private, but not here. I dangled a small, delicate device before his eyes. Dr. says transceiver. I see. As private as possible. Well then, talk to you later. I left a meaningful smile and turned to my room. The bathtub was filled with hot water. I tried the temperature, slipped out of my bathroom, and slowly sank into the bathtub. After transitory enjoyment of this small warm paradise, I turned on my transceiver. Casually splashed water in the bathtub. The gentleman on the other end of the line didn't make me wait long. Are you taking a bath? I answered his question with a steamy chuckle, and we started to talk in this unusual atmosphere. All right, what do you want to talk about? I'd like to hear your opinion on the case. You must have discovered some clues. Talking about thoughts with others makes it easier to sort them, isn't it? There was a short silence. He must be debating whether or not to lay the cards on the table. I'm not asking to hear your opinion for free, Mr. Detective. Conjectures may help you out too. This is a fair exchange. All right then. Regarding this murder, my biggest question is the murder really among us? The reason why you have this question is because of HI3, isn't it? Yes, according to Raven, HI3 knew he was found out by Mr. Joyce that he had been involved in the human experiments conducted in the same fountain before the cataclysm, so he killed him to seal his lips. Echo and Raven were also part of this, so he got rid of them too to spare himself any future troubles. The logic behind this assumption seems flawless in terms of why done it. But if you put more careful thought into it, you will find a paradox. The word written was blood, with blood. Correct. Rache. Revenge. The word appeared at both of the crime scenes. If it wasn't a message left by the victims, then it must be written by the murderer of some kind of rituality. The situations of the crime scenes obviously agree with the latter assumption. Yes, the murderer has been declaring his or her motive to all of us by leaving that scarlet word. If HI3 was the murderer, then Rache would make no sense. I see you have completely crossed HI3 out. Can't say that for sure now, but at least the two murderers defy the hypothesis of HI3 being the murderer. What's more, according to the scene of HI3 and Raven's death, neither of them could have written that word on the wall, no matter who died. And I think you're right. If there was no word written on the wall, I would have assumed that they both died after a fierce fight. It's obvious that the murderer never intended to hide. He or she left the word to flaunt the progress of his revenge. Leave aside the motive, there's something unusual about the wound on HI3's back. I've checked it. The fatal heart injury, there's no way he could lurk around for days and fight a former mercenary to that. I'm surprised that he couldn't even move. The degree of decomposition suggests he's been dead for several days. A dead man has been walking around and committing murders. Huh. This just became a ghost story. Trust me, Irene, I know corpses very well. And that's why I started to wonder if I should still treat this case as a normal serial murder. Logic is no longer with us. I don't know how I should continue my deduction. I slightly adjusted my posture in the bathtub and the water rippled. You certainly wouldn't believe what I just said. But I believe when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. But if you look at it from a different angle, revenge, who would hate these victims this much? Then we must look at the common experiences of the victims. A few hours ago, we just heard of a past that involves Jackal, HI3, and Raven. Human experiments on orphans and the cause of the cataclysm. They're all guilty of these, directly or indirectly. Let's assume for a moment that there's someone who lost everything in the cataclysm but somehow survived. And this person who knows everything about it was a victim of and witness to that tragedy at the same time. Brownie, that child has a motive to seek revenge on them. Wait a second, I remember. Jackal and Raven were invited by Mr. Joachim to help Branya get her bequeathment. But what if the legacy is just bait from the very beginning? So Jackal coveted Mr. Joyce's research data, while Raven was trying to find cures for Sora. And what Hayabi wanted was Jackal's and Raven's lives. See, it was a remarkable and efficient thing. I paused for a moment and gave a sudden chuckle. Sounds logical, but you missed one thing, Mr. Detective. Joachim and Branya both had perfect alibis. They were with us when the murders happened. Yes, how done it. This is what has been baffling me. My intuition tells me there's paranormal involvement in this case, which all of my learning has been forcing my brain to ignore. I guess the Lynch J. Holmes is just a fictional character after all. I see my deduction didn't score highly, I stood up from the water without making any remarks. The bubbles in my bathtub are running out. I have to go. But cheer up, Doctor. I think you're getting closer to the truth. It's all over. She was exhausted. She could feel the raging fury that used to control her fading gradually and vanished at last. The rosemary in her hand, which was supposed to bloom eternally, had withered and become a hideous sear of remains. But this is how you fruited me, helping me vent my anger until we are both hurt and exhausted. But this is what awaits at the end of the path of revenge, isn't it? The rain kept pouring down. Brony weakly looked up, her eyes widened in surprise. She saw a clear, vivid picture. It's her friend, her sister, and her family. For so many years, she had been treating this figure as just a figment, a phantom, and handy tool for her revenge. Because the phantom never smiled or spoke to her, or kept her warm when the cold came, like Sailor used to. But she just realized Sailor has always been with her. It was just blinded by the intense hatred in her heart. She knows it's Sailor, because only Sailor would shed sorrowful tears for her. Sailor? Sailor, Branya, Joey? I've known this all along, because I've been looking after the rosemary and our memories. Though Sailor cannot talk to us, she has always been with us. I'm sorry, Branya, but rather than taking revenge, I want three of us together. Joey, Sailor, tears ran down her cheek for the first time since she indulged herself in the overwhelming desire for revenge. She felt her real emotions, and she saw an unreal image. In bright white light, a gentle, cultivated man and a girl in blue are leaving hand in hand. The man looked back and waved at her with a comforting smile, as if he just perceived her gaze. Take care, dear Branya. They said their farewell and faded away in the white light. When she came back to her senses, she found the seer fell or remains in her hand gone with the wind. And that monstrous phantom was also gone. He finally started to wail miserably. Case closed, Doctor. Yeah, the only thing left to do is to deal with the two culprits, which is not the detective's job. Dr. Einstein, I think we should let Mr. Joyce decide. I didn't expect another twist in the end. How fascinating. You're making no sense, Doctor. Agreed, I have no idea what you're talking about. It's okay, Tesla. No need to cover for me now that I'm already exposed. A small figure emerged from the corner of the street. Obviously, he saw everything that just happened. Really? It's Geoffrey Joyce. He now looks too solemn as a child, but I can see he's trying to give a friendly smile. I thought I'd been hiding well. Would you tell me when I gave myself away, Doctor? You have indeed hidden well, Mr. Joyce, but there have been a few subtle hints. The first one was the paradoxical aura you exuded when you gave testimony at Jekyll's death scene. You weren't like a timid boy at all. I knew it. I'm a fan of your stories, and I've always wanted to say lines like that. I got carried away. But what really made me realize that you're still alive is something more solid than an intuitive feeling. The change in Dr. Einstein's attitude. The investigation once came to a dead end before Raven told us about the experiment, which provided a turnaround. And the reason why she told us was because we found the notes about the experiment in high heavy in your room. What's wrong with that? I checked your bookshelf on my first search in your room. The notes weren't there at the time. And under that circumstance, the way Dr. Einstein infuriated Raven just felt too intentional. Well, I knew I wasn't good at acting. I remember clearly that when we first arrived, Dr. Einstein was loath to talk about the Phantom and the Cataclysm. But she provided me those key clues that could push the investigation forward. It was such a poor act. Such a dramatic change in her attitude would only be the result of someone's instruction. And I can't think of anyone else in this manner that would order Dr. Einstein except for the deceased Mr. Joyce. I see, that's really impressive. Then what's with your situation? I couldn't believe it if you told me you turned into a little boy for fun. That's certainly not the case, but I really don't know why it happened. You've already deduced the details of the murder. In fact, I don't remember anything about it. When I woke up again, I was already in this body. I have to ask, now that you're occupying this body, where's the original soul of Omega-2? It doesn't exist. I'm so sorry, Doctor, I lied to you. There were indeed two copies of me, but there's only one Omega-2, which is the Joffrey in Joachim's body. In this body, it never woke up since it was made. Its vital signs have been normal. The lack of a soul still makes it defective. Anyway, I'm glad to see you're still alive, Mr. Joyce. I'm glad to meet you too, Dr. Conan Doyle. But then cast a glance at Barney and Joffrey, and showed a trace of sadness. Mr. Joyce, you're my client. Now that the perpetrators have been identified, the rest is up to you to decide. I'd like to hear your suggestions, Doctor. I pondered for a moment and said in a measured tone. There were a few cases that made me realize sometimes catching the culprits brings more pain than the very crimes. And now I've learned to be more prudent. If I have to choose, I'd rather deceive the rules than my conscience. I think so too. Sometimes one tragedy might lead to another, and this chain reaction may go on forever, which will eventually push everything and everyone into a hopeless abyss. Few of them already bear too much pain. I'm glad to see we're in agreement. My dear Hua, it's time for our return trip. The train station hasn't been blown up. I nodded. Reticence on occasions like this have been quite comforting to me. Rhodes also expresses his gratitude to Irene, but to figure out the relation between them after all. Well, Joyce announced the members of Lab 42 had seceded from Shixel and allied with the North American branch from a new anti-Honkai organization, Anti-Entropy. I didn't expect Ms. Joyce would have been made such a huge move after the incident. You seem to be indifferent to this shocking news. I'm used to going where the wind blows. I prefer dealing with little cases rather than huge organizations and systems. Anyway, a rival organization to Shixel sounds like the right place for Barney and Joffrey. I heard you just returned from a long journey. Did I tell you this? Yes, I went to the East region to take care of Raven's entrustment to me. Those orphans she adopted have been taken in by Anti-Entropy. I believe Mr. Joyce will take good care of them. Anyway, though this case was solved, I still don't have a clue how the possession of floral scent and soul exchanges happened. I didn't know you'd be so obsessed with the paranormal. Before the Phantom vanished, I thought I saw a mirage for a moment. I saw Joachim and Sarah leaving in white light. He looked back and waved his hand, as if he was thanking someone. Sounds more like he was just waving goodbye. No, my intuition told me he was expressing gratitude to someone. And for a moment, you seemed to be giving them a wave, though you weren't facing them. Oh, I did. Are you sure? Of course. The serial murder happened in St. Fountain might be the most uncanny case that I could have ever experienced in my life. And the uncanny part is, The Grey Serpent we saw wasn't really Grey Serpent. The Phantom wasn't a Phantom. Joachim wasn't Joachim, and even Joffrey wasn't really himself. Then is it possible that Irene Adler wasn't really Irene Adler, and Conan Doyle wasn't the real Conan Doyle? Who are you? Who I am is not important. The real question is, who are you? Me. You have the answers, but something seems to be clenching your throat and preventing you from voicing them out. People and incidents in your mind are real memories, but it felt as though you're browsing through an old album. Inside an isolated chamber. The next moment, Rita. He fell into an endless darkness. Is he awake? No, he probably needs more time. I've already helped him find himself. It's only a matter of time for him to wake up. Too many times of consciousness mapping have added too many foreign perceptions and cognitions into his mind. This continues sooner or later. I know that, and he knows that too, but that's his choice. As for you, I find it suspicious that you actually managed to infiltrate Hyperion and seem to know everything about this guy. You're not like me or anyone else on this ship. I can feel it. To be more precise, you're more like him. Who are you? If I recall correctly, Miss Conlin, you made a deal a long time ago. I take him back, and you let me have my own little secret. Oomph, furtive woman. I've told you that my name is Rita Rossweiss. Though I may not be the same Rita you used to know, I wouldn't refuse if you ever feel like snuggling up to me. I'll turn a blind eye to you for now, as a thank you for saving me. Sounds fair. But if I ever find out about whatever you might be scheming to do on Hyperion, you can punish me however you like. I will. This bedroom is yours now. If he wakes up, tell him to meet me on the bridge when he feels better. I have a lot to say to him. I feel sorry for him. Did you hear that? She seems to be bent out of shape. Please let me escape from reality for a while. You don't seem to be surprised seeing me here. I know you and me are the same. I can feel that thing inside you. Consciousness mapping is a complicated ability. You may want to stop using it. It synchronizes your consciousness and memories with the objects, generates an unbearably massive info load. And the increasing amount of cognition residues left in your mind will impair your self-awareness. Is that so? I did think I was that novelist this time. If he didn't help me remember myself, I wouldn't be here. So, Rita, does that mean you... Oh, nothing. I just had a nostalgic dream when my mind was still hazy. I feel better now. I'm going to go meet her on the bridge. It's a tiny little imp. What are you reading? So he did not recognize me at all. As a captain, he is always perspicacious and perceptive about anything except for his own business. But if I put on that dress for him, do you think he would recognize me, Loki? Different outfit. But it's not one of the battle suits, is it? I think I once saw the weapon that killed them. It's Raven. I fought her once. It cannot be mistaken. Seems like she clashed with the Valkyrie squad here and she didn't treat them too kindly. Wait, I think I saw someone. That's Sora? She looks weird. Let's go check her out. Be careful. The heavy might be lurking somewhere. I forgot to point out the horrible view before our eyes was beyond words. Oh, that was from earlier, of course. Otherwise it was in order, but this is out of order. This is In a deep shock, Sarah was curled up near the wall and trembling all over. In the direction she faced, we found Raven's cold body. The woman I talked to moments ago was now sitting against the wall bathed in blood. All life was gone from her eyes. Raven is dead too. There's something written on the wall. On the wall, Raven leaned against. We saw the scarlet word Vraki written in fresh blood. Not again. Revenge. Eh? It wasn't until then I noticed something else lying at her feet. Another body. Everyone else seemed caught up to it. That's HI3. None of us could believe our own eyes. HI3 was killed too. Raven and him did this to each other. I bent down to check Raven's body and found a fatal knife wound on her neck, cutting her artery wide open. I then checked HI3 and found a similar mechanism, but somehow there was another puncture wound down his back. Why? I went into a long silence, one that was shared by everyone else. I looked at the only eyewitness, looking when Branya had helped her up. She was in a trance and her face was devoid of any motion. Dora, can you hear me? Dora made no response because she was a soulless puppet. Raindrops kept hitting her eyes, but she didn't even blink. That one was out of order. But those are all the scenes from there, and unfortunately, I don't have any of these left. Oh, and by the way, the tutorial is just for a tutorial. So, I think that brings to an end what I need to do here, and it's gotten quite a bit later. Let's do something about my max stamina, shall we? Can I do it again? No, not without spending a card. Never mind then. And use those for later. Well, but I think those were for today anyway. But I do think that wraps up, for the most part, story thing that we have. And then there's this little event. Is that the cat spot that Diana's white comet always summons? As you can see, I've already gotten this stuff. But it's going away today. Shop should stick around. That continues on, so maybe those will stay open. This one ends tomorrow. But early tomorrow, I think, before I can really do anything at all. The update will start. Ah, there. That's what I was trying to do before. He's so sweet even there. So, in any case, I think we're done for now. I'm going to stop so that I can have dinner. So, thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw, you can, of course, check out my YouTube channel. You can like, comment below what you thought, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. All kinds of VODs and past streams there. Please do also check out my Twitch. Drop me a follow. I would greatly appreciate it. And you get notifications for when I go live. And I should, over here, choose who to raid this time. Silver and Nags. Trying to raid Silver. I don't think I often do. She's just being chatting and being comfy, which is basically what I appreciate her. So thanks again for watching. Until the next stream, video, or whatever, please do stay safe, stay healthy, and remember to be excellent to one another. Bye-bye.